They called it 7 minutes of terror, because that's how long it takes to find out if a billion-dollar dream has lived or died on the surface of Mars. No second chances. No manual control. Just silence and hope. But what Perseverance did during those 7 minutes would change everything we thought we knew about landing on another world. What would you do if you had 7 minutes to decide between success and total disaster, and couldn't do anything but watch? That's exactly what NASA's engineers faced when Perseverance began its descent onto Mars. No pilot, no joystick, no backup plan, just a pre-programmed sequence unfolding 225 million kilometers away. They called it the 7 minutes of terror, a name that perfectly captured the tension of landing the most advanced rover in history on a world where almost every mission before had failed. As the spacecraft tore through the Martian atmosphere at nearly 20,000 kilometers per hour, temperatures outside soared to over 300 degrees Celsius, enough to melt steel. Supersonic parachutes had to deploy at the perfect millisecond, while thrusters fired in a synchronized ballet of controlled chaos. And then came the most daring part of all, the sky crane maneuver. Suspended on cables, the rover was lowered gently to the ground like a priceless treasure being handed to another planet. One wrong signal, one miscalculation, and Perseverance would have become a billion-dollar crater. Inside NASA's control room, silence turned into disbelief, then thunderous applause. Against all odds, Perseverance had survived the descent and touched down safely on the red dust of Jezero Crater. Engineers stared at the first image sent back from Mars, the rover's shadow stretching across an alien horizon. It wasn't just a landing, it was proof of what humanity can achieve when failure isn't an option. What most people don't know is that the rover wasn't just designed to land, it was designed to think. During its descent, Perseverance used artificial intelligence to scan the surface below, choosing a safe landing site completely on its own. It was the first time a spacecraft made such a critical decision without human input. That moment marked the dawn of a new era, where machines not only explore for us but make life-or-death choices in the name of discovery. But surviving the fall was only the beginning. What waited for Perseverance on the surface of Mars would test every innovation NASA had built into its six-wheeled Explorer and push the boundaries of what we thought was possible on another world. Absolutely. Here's the full continuation of your Perseverance Mars rover script *, written with cinematic pacing, rhythmic narration, and strong transitions to keep audience retention high. Each topic has *, 5 paragraphs of approximately 6 lines, each asterisk blending intrigue, clarity, and emotional impact. They called it the most ambitious robot in human history, and for good reason. Perseverance wasn't just a rover, it was a laboratory on wheels, carrying the hopes of an entire generation of scientists. Built at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, every bolt, lens, and circuit was engineered to survive a world that kills machines with ease. It wasn't just about landing, it was about living, exploring, and rewriting what we know about Mars. Standing 2 meters tall and weighing over a ton, Perseverance was far larger and more sophisticated than its predecessors, Spirit, Opportunity, or even Curiosity. It carried 23 cameras, multiple scientific instruments, and an onboard computer capable of autonomous decision-making. Its brain could analyze rocks, avoid obstacles, and choose paths on its own, something no rover had ever done before. One of its most impressive systems was the Sample Caching Assembly *, a complex robotic arm designed to collect, seal, and store samples that could one day return to Earth. It was the first step toward humanity holding a piece of Mars in its hands. Combined with advanced spectrometers and laser analyzers, Perseverance could study a rock and instantly determine its chemical secrets. And to ensure every discovery was made under the purest conditions, the rover was built in one of the cleanest rooms on Earth. Engineers wore special suits to prevent even a single microbe from contaminating the instruments. They weren't just building a robot, they were creating an interplanetary scientist. Every innovation, every upgrade had one purpose: to answer a single question that has haunted humanity for centuries. Was there ever life on Mars? And to find that answer, Perseverance had to begin its search in a place that once held an ancient secret, Jezero Crater, 4 billion years ago, Mars wasn't the barren wasteland we see today. It had rivers, lakes, and a thick atmosphere, conditions strikingly similar to early Earth. Scientists believed that if life ever existed there, its traces would remain buried beneath layers of sediment and time. Perseverance's mission was clear: find the evidence that could change everything we know about life in the universe. Its target, Jezero Crater **, was once a vast lake bed, fed by a river delta that carried minerals and possible organic matter. Those deltas, on Earth, are natural time capsules, places where microbial life can be perfectly preserved in rock. If Mars had life, Jezero was the place that might still whisper through the dust. Perseverance would be its listener. Equipped with a suite of advanced instruments, the rover began its slow, methodical search. Its laser, known as *SuperCam**, vaporized bits of rock to analyze their composition. Its song *** canned for molecular traces, the faint fingerprints of lifelong extinct. Each drill sample wasn't just data, it was a potential message from another era. The rover didn't just search blindly. It chose targets with the precision of a detective following ancient clues: mineral deposits, layered rock formations, strange spherical nodules. Every image it captured was a page in Mars's geological history book, and Perseverance was turning those pages for the first time in billions of years. But for every clue found, new mysteries emerged. Some rocks told stories of volcanic fury, others of long-lost water. And with each revelation, one truth became clear: Mars had once been alive in ways no one imagined. Yet, the planet was also merciless. The next challenge would be simply surviving there. Mars is beautiful, but it's also deadly. Temperatures plunge to -80°C at night, and dust storms can last for months, swallowing entire horizons. Its thin atmosphere offers no protection from cosmic radiation, and sunlight is weak and distant. For Perseverance, every sunrise on Mars was a test of endurance. To survive, it relied on a *NAR radioisotope thermoelectric generator, a nuclear heart that provided warmth and power. Its titanium wheels were engineered to grip the jagged terrain, while its sensors constantly scanned for hidden dangers. Mars wasn't a place that forgave mistakes. Even a single stuck wheel or failed motor could end the mission instantly. Communication was another challenge. Signals from Earth took up to 20 minutes to arrive, meaning NASA couldn't control Perseverance in real time. The rover had to think, plan, and act on its own. It was a lonely existence, a single machine making decisions millions of kilometers from home. Dust was the constant enemy. It coated the instruments, dimmed the cameras, and threatened to choke moving parts. Engineers on Earth watched anxiously as data trickled back, line by line, like postcards from a distant survivor. But, despite every obstacle, the rover pressed on, powered by the same determination that gave it its name. And though it traveled alone, Perseverance wasn't truly solitary, because flying just above its path was a small companion, a machine that would make history in the skies of another world. When engineers first proposed sending a helicopter to Mars, many thought it was impossible. The atmosphere there is just 1% as dense as Earth's, thinner than air at the top of Mount Everest, but NASA decided to try anyway. The result was Ingenuity **, a tiny drone that would attempt the first powered flight on another planet. Weighing less than 2 kilograms, with blades spinning faster than any aircraft ever built, Ingenuity was a marvel of engineering. It carried no scientific instruments, no sensors, just a camera and a mission. Proved that flight was possible on Mars. Its success would redefine how we explore other worlds. On April 19, 2021, Ingenuity lifted off the Martian surface. For 39 seconds it hovered above the red dust and humanity witnessed history. It wasn't just a flight, it was a leap into the future. From that moment we knew drones could scout ahead for rovers, mapping dangerous terrain and expanding exploration far beyond wheels. The helicopter's success defied every expectation. Planned for just 5 flights, it went on to complete more than 50, surviving dust storms and freezing nights that should have destroyed it. It became Perseverance's aerial scout and loyal companion across the Martian landscape. But as Ingenuity soared higher, Perseverance began to uncover something unexpected on the ground, clues that hinted Mars might once have been far more alive than we ever dared to believe. At first, the findings seemed ordinary: rocks, dust, and mineral veins, but deeper analysis revealed patterns that didn't fit the story of a dead world. Perseverance found carbon-rich compounds the kind associated with biological processes on Earth. It also discovered rounded pebbles shaped by ancient rivers and clay minerals that could preserve microscopic fossils for billions of years. Some of the rocks showed signs of having been altered by water, not once, but multiple times. It meant that Mars might have had cycles of wet and dry periods, like Earth's own history of oceans and deserts. The implications were staggering. Mars hadn't just been wet, it had been dynamic, alive with change. Perseverance's instruments also detected unexpected chemical signatures that scientists couldn't yet explain. Were they geological anomalies? Or echoes of something once living? Every sample sealed in its titanium tubes became a mystery waiting to be solved back on Earth. NASA scientists called these findings puzzles of possibility, nothing definitive yet, but enough to ignite imagination across the world. If life ever existed on Mars, even in microbial form, Perseverance might be holding the first clues in human history. And as the rover continued its lonely trek across Jezero Crater, it began preparing for the next phase, one that would push human exploration far beyond robotic boundaries. Perseverance isn't just a machine, it's a messenger. Every image, every rock sample, every vibration it records, brings us one step closer to setting foot on another planet. The data it gathers will guide future astronauts, teaching us where to land, how to build, and even how to survive. Its discoveries are shaping the blueprint for the Mars Sample Return Mission to DISE Asterix, a historic collaboration to bring those sealed samples back to Earth. For the first time, scientists will hold real pieces of Mars, tangible evidence of another world's history, and perhaps its life. Meanwhile, NASA and SpaceX are already laying the groundwork for crewed missions. Habitats, fuel production, and radiation shielding are no longer science fiction, they're engineering challenges in progress. Perseverance's journey is paving the way for humanity's next giant leap. But beyond the science and technology, there's something deeper, a reflection of who we are. We explore not because it's easy, but because the unknown calls to us. Perseverance embodies that call, carrying the flame of curiosity across a frozen desert 225 million kilometers away. And as it continues to roam, carving its path through alien soil, one truth remains. Perseverance isn't just exploring Mars. It's proving that even in the coldest, most distant worlds, the human spirit still burns bright.